This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled Blatant Jezzabel and Some Analysis. Now, my MGTOW brothers, even with the penetration and the effect of the MGTOW philosophy and the ongoing issues with the COVID virus pandemic, there are still some overt Jezzabels running around out there. Now, these are the types of women who have a inner bitch, and they also have their outer bitch, which they wear on their sleeves. They are the ones that run around, try to control you, try to destroy you, who are on your jobs, who are creating havoc everywhere you are. They can be your mothers, your sisters, they can be your cousins. They can be anything from a co-worker to a manager, but they are out there. They are still out there. And I have described to you before, my brothers, that there is the inner bitch emergence syndrome, which is AKA Jezzabel. And many women have an inner bitch. Many women will have an inner bitch emergence once they entrap you. But what I'm referring to is the Jezzabel, the blatant Jezzabel, who is, in spite of everything that is going on, in spite of other women changing their ways to try to get men on their side, to try to get men entrapped into the Venus flytraps, these blatant Jezzabels continue on their way. They continue on their power trips to try to control men, to try to do things to men that they have been doing formerly before all of this got started, before the really the penetration and effect of the MGTOW philosophy, and before this pandemic. Now, what can happen to these types of Jezzabels, and in fact, all Jezzabels, is this. There is an account in the Bible that gives the history and the destruction of a evil queen called Jezzabel. And that is where Jezzabel comes from. That is where the whole, if you heard it before, the Jezebel spirit, the Jezebel attitude, that is where the origin of that is. It comes from the Bible. And this account is found in, in 2 Kings chapter 9, verses 30 through 37. And Jezebel in history had a evil king by the name of Ahab. And at the point of her destruction, Ahab had already been destroyed. And Ahab is or was a type of super simp. He basically did the bidding of his evil queen, Jezebel. But he was killed in war. He got hit by an unaimed arrow and got killed. But getting on to Jezzabel, Jezzabel basically knew that her problems were coming, and her problems were in the form of a man called Jehu. And Jehu was a usurper, and he came to usurp Jezebel's kingdom. But because of who Jezzabel was, she felt that he would not be able to do so to her. And one thing I would explain about Jezebel, they are not ignorant to the times and conditions. They are ignorant to what can happen to them, how they can be destroyed. So pressing on, Jehu comes to her, and she is in her high place. She looks out down to him from a window in her high place. And that is another thing. These women think they're in a high place. They think that they cannot be touched because they're in a high place. Jezebel goes further to deride Jehu and condemn him, insult him. And again, these women will insult you. They will do things to you. They will deride you. And Jehu then calls out and says, "Who is on my side?" And 2 to 3 eunuchs who were under Jezebel's control, who were under her authority, who were supposed to be supporting her, looked out. Jehu says, "Throw her down." And those eunuchs who are supposed to be supporting Jezebel threw her down. Jezebel gets trampled under Jehu's horse's hoofs, and to the extent that she is so destroyed that only like her hands and her head are left. And then Jehu says, I'm going to go in and have me something to eat. So he goes into her place and has him a nice meal. And then afterwards, it's like, oh, yeah, go out and bury her. And when the men go out to bury her, there's really nothing left. And that's what can happen to these women. You will notice, as I've noticed, like the other day, a Jezzabel on my workplace, tried to do something to me, and normally she would get people fired, or she would get people in trouble, and in this case, she ended up being silenced. You'll find that even though they have formally wielded power, that in a lot of cases, these women are being terminated, they're being silenced. Their peeps, like the eunuchs did on with Jezebel, they are turning on them, and they're turning their backs on them and letting them die. They're even, in fact, throwing them down. They're throwing them under the bus, so to speak. And see, these women are not, again, ignorant to what is going on. They're ignorant to what can happen to them. They think that nothing can happen to them. They think that they're in a high place. But again, they can be thrown down, and a lot of cases they will be thrown down. So my MGTOW brothers, again, these women are out there. There's the type that is the ones that are turning nice. For instance, I noticed on my job that the Jezzabels out there, the ones that are white, they're actually starting to act nice. They're starting to act more cordial, and they're not doing so much that they were doing. It is the black ones, the BAWs, that are actually still going around and doing the things that they're doing. That's going on. You'll find that again, the changes in women, a lot of them that were formerly Jezzabels, known to be Jezzabels, they are acting nice, and that's not only on my job. I'm finding it's kind of elsewhere, like in my family. They're acting more nice, more cordial. But again, as I stated in prior videos, what you need to do, my MGTOW brothers, is to not be fooled by any changes, not be challenged by overt Jezzabels, not be fooled by the covert Jezzabels who have the inner bitch emergence once you get hooked up with them, but to just, in general, go on your way and do what you need to do. And when they beg you for help, or they try to bully you or do anything to you, it is, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, and walk away. These women don't know, in general, that it is game over. They don't know in their minds that it is game over. They see the actuality of things, but they can't fathom and understand that it is truly game over. They think that on one side, I will always have a man to control and to try to get trapped in my Venus flytrap. But that is not true, my MGTOW brothers. Again, the penetration and the effect of the MGTOW philosophy is so devastating to the feminist plantation state that it is incredible. And this, in combination with the COVID virus pandemic, it is decimating. It is decimating. And these women cannot understand it. They cannot see why a man will not stay on the feminist plantation state. Even in this type of situation where there's a call to do your duty, they cannot see it. And this is again because the MGTOW philosophy is dimensionally beyond the conception and the comprehension of women. So my MGTOW brothers, again, whichever way you encounter them, the covert, inner bitch, or the one that is overt, go on your way, ignore them, and do what you need to do. Take care of yourself, put yourself first, and do what you need to do. Take care of you. Put you first, because you are the one that deserves to be put first. Not these women, not these women who have treated you in the manner that they have treated you, and they're trying to play all these types of mind games on you. You are the one. You do not deserve what they have done to you, and you need to do what you need to do to take care of you. Now, moving further to some analysis, I was listening to Hammerhand, who put out some content, how he was observing the men and the women in this situation outside of I think it was a shopping store or something like that. I can confirm what he was seeing. And basically what he was saying, that the men seem to be less panicked. They seem to be more stoic. They seem to be concerned, but they're not panicked. The women, on the other hand, are panicked. They are running around. They are hoarding. They are doing all types of things that to try to, quote unquote, save themselves. He noticed that there were some women outside panhandling, and they were not approaching women. They were approaching men. These women know that we men have the resources, or we have access to resources. But moving on to what I've been seeing, again, I have been seeing more men shopping by themselves. I have been seeing men getting what they need in a manner that is, again, stoic, non-panicked. They're just casually shopping along. They don't seem to be so concerned about what is going to happen, or if this is going to happen to them. They are just doing what they need to do. They are doing it in a manner that is non-panic. And also, I'm talking to a call worker. I just happened to mention that I was not considering marriage anymore, and he agreed with me. That's going on. Men are not considering women in their lives anymore. They have had enough. That's happening. Again, I've noticed, because of my job, because of the type of work that I do, the majority of the hoarding that is going on is women. They're the ones running to the store, hoarding, buying up everything. My MGTOW brothers, I'll tell you this, they will buy every bit of toilet tissue, paper towels, and they are also wiping out napkins. So that means they're using napkins to wipe their buns. That's what they're doing. That's how panicked these women are. That's what they're doing. They are even resorting to hoarding napkins for the purpose of wiping their butts. And they don't know that flushing that stuff down the toilet will actually clog up the toilet, but that's an aside. But this is what I'm noticing. It is women that are doing the hoarding. It is women that are walking around with either a dead look on their face or a panic look on their face. In the cases where I see a simp with a woman, it is a woman, like I saw the other day, digging out jars and jars of salsa, throwing them into a cart for no reason but to hoard. And it is the simps that are helping them. Those few simps that are still helping these women. But this is what I'm seeing, my brothers. Again, it is the women who are, for the most part, panicking. And just casual conversations with men, it's like, what is going on with these women? What is going on? What is the sense of what is going on? That's how bad it is, my MGTOW brothers. But again, I can confirm what Hammerhand is saying, because I work in the business, so to speak. These things are going on, my brothers. But I would say to you, my brothers, again, whether or not these women turn around after this thing gets over with, which I don't believe it's fully over with. I think that something else is coming. I can't really say at this point what it is, but I believe something else greater is coming. And whether or not these women decide to kind of stay nice or not, you, my MGTOW brothers, have your direction. You have your orders already. Stay on the MGTOW path and continue to your freedom. The only way that things can change it is, again, if there is outright protest by women before the United States Congress to end the scourge of feminism. That's the only way. There is change in the court systems in this country where men are not raped and taken to have their resources taken from them, where they are forced to put a gun to their heads because they are so sad and so suicidal because of their lives being altered, irrevocably altered by what a woman has done to them. That's the only way, my MGTOW brothers. And even then, I would say be cautious. I would say be cautious. The only way that this can happen, that there can be a mutuality between male and female, is if there is radical change where a man cannot be sent to jail for just smiling at a woman. That's the only way, my MGTOW brothers. Until that point, it's not going to be. And I would say again, my MGTOW brothers, continue on your way. Continue on your way to freedom, because that's what you need to do. That's what you, as a MGTOW man, needs to do in this time that we're in. I would say to you again, there's no benefit to you to cohabitate with or to marry a woman in this day and age. You face anything from an inhibit emergence to being infested with STDs to being thrown out of your house, having your property taken away from you. All these things can happen to you, my MGTOW brothers. So again, whether it's a covert Jezebel or an overt Jezebel, say to them, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, and walk away. This has been the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium training session. My MGTOW brothers, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.